Kings Island, a park that is known for its local charm, rocky history, but most of all, its roller coasters. Many people call this park one of the best in the Cedar Fair chain. This park is home to 14 different roller coasters, and when I visited this park for the first time back in 2018, I was also able to experience Firehawk and Vortex. However, I was able to visit the park just a week ago, and the park has definitely changed. So today, I'm going to be ranking every operating roller coaster at Kings Island. Number 14, the Great Pumpkin Coaster, E&F Miller Kiddie Coaster. While I still have yet to get this credit, I have ridden many exact clones of this coaster. And while it does give you some small pops of airtime, it's just a kiddie coaster at the end of the day. Number 13, Flying Ace Aerial Chase, Vekoma Family Suspended Coaster. These Vekoma suspended coasters tend to give a rough experience. The one at Kings Island isn't that bad, and I have ridden much worse. But this coaster just isn't fun, and you should really just ride it for the credit and then move on with your day. Number 12, in Vertigo, Vekoma in Vertigo. This was my first and still the only boomerang I've ridden, and I think this coaster sucks. The restraints are super bulky and it's impossible to avoid headbanging. The forward section isn't that bad, plus this coaster does pull some decent forces, but when you start going backwards, the coaster just tries to beat you up. I am not a fan of Vertigo, and I have no plans to ride it anytime soon. Number 11, Woodstock Express PTC Junior Wooden Coaster. I really enjoy these small PTC coasters. They're smooth rides with buzz bars that give small pops of ejector airtime. While the coaster itself isn't anything truly special because it is just a kid's coaster, it's such a fun ride that's great for the families. Number 10, the Bat Aero Suspended Swinging Coaster. When I rode this coaster for the first time, I didn't enjoy it. I sat in the very back, and while I did get some good airtime down the drop, the swinging was very mild, and it was very hard to avoid headbanging. When I rode it again towards the front, it was the exact same thing. The swinging was boring, and it didn't feel like you were swinging at all. Plus, this coaster is rough. This is personally my least favorite aero swinging coaster, but it is worth your time since these models are slowly becoming extinct. Number 9, Adventure Express Aero Mine Train. This coaster is fun. It has a decent layout, decent theming, plus it's very hidden in the park, so it sets up the ride as a mystery. It has a lot of cool near misses that really add on to the experience, plus the lift hill at the end with all the cool animatronics in it is a great theming aspect that I really like that the park added. Now, for a family coaster, it is not on the smoother side, but it is a fun mine train that I would ride again in the near future. Number 8, Racer PTC Wooden Coaster. Who doesn't love a classic wooden coaster? While I only rode one side of Racer since it was down for the day on my last visit, I did enjoy it. It wasn't rough, it didn't really give any airtime, but it did give that classic wooden coaster feel. It doesn't do anything special, but this coaster did a lot for Kings Island, so it's nice to get a ride on it once in a while. Number 7, Backlot Stunt Coaster Premier Rides Backlot Stunt. If a coaster is made by Premier, I automatically enjoy it. Add some theming and intense elements, I really enjoy it. Backlot is such a fun family coaster. The triple helix pulls some good G's, the theming is really good for Kings Island, plus it has a small show section that actually is pretty cool. I really enjoyed Backlot and I look forward to experiencing its clones in the future. Number 6, Flight of Fear Premier Rides LIM Launched Coaster. Another Premier coaster high up in the list. Flight of Fear is a fun coaster that has a decent launch, decent layout, and decent theming. Most of this coaster is in pitch black darkness, and that really adds on to the intensity. There is one horrific trim in the middle of the ride, but it is really good, and if the line wasn't super long, I would ride this coaster much more. Number 5, the Beast In-House Wooden Coaster. Who doesn't love the Beast? While it isn't the best or smoothest wooden coaster on the planet, its length and overall ride experience makes it such an interesting roller coaster. It has some great laterals, and if the trims aren't hitting that hard, this coaster is really fast. And that double helix at the end of the layout is really good. Overall, the Beast is a fun wooden roller coaster that I hope to ride again very soon. Number 4. Mystic Timbers GCI Wooden Coaster. While I didn't get to ride this coaster on my last visit, I do remember enjoying it, but I was underwhelmed. The ejector airtime is really good, but it isn't the best compared to other GCIs that I have ridden. I did like how Mystic Timbers tried to give this ride a solid theme, and the coaster does fit the park well, but it isn't one of my personal favorites. It feels like a shorter roller coaster, and the shed is kind of underwhelming, but I definitely think it is an ejector airtime packed coaster that I did enjoy, just not to the expectations that I had for it. Number 3. Banshee B&M Invert. I'm about to get everyone mad, so get ready. Banshee is better and more intense than Montu. Yeah, I said it. I've always preferred Banshee over Montu, and when I was in line to ride it this past week, I was worried, because I thought I would like Montu more after this ride and possibly dislike Banshee now. While it is the roughest invert out there, it is super intense. From the first drop all the way to the hardline roll, I was pinned against my seat. Montu has its moments where it can meander around. In my opinion, Banshee has a better layout, and it is a much better ride than Montu. And I really do enjoy this coaster. Plus, I am a sucker for hang time, and this coaster has more of that than any other inverted coaster out there. Number 2. Diamondback B&M Hyper. I forgot how crazy this hyper coaster is. I always thought Diamondback was one of the better B&M hyper coasters, but for some reason it was hauling, and it was giving some great floater airtime on my last visit. Each and every hill gives some really good and long airtime, especially in the back. I really enjoyed Diamondback, and I do hope to get back on it really soon. And for those who say the trims feel like an earthquake, I really didn't notice that, so I really don't know what people are talking about. Number 1. Orion B&M Giga. Kings Island opened Orion back in July, and it was the main reason why I decided to revisit this park. And boy, was it worth it. Orion had some amazing airtime, decent forces, but the thing that made this coaster so good was its speed. If you ride this coaster in the front row at night, you can see nothing except the coaster's astonishing light package, and all you can hear is the wind speeding past your body. It's such a fun coaster that I wish I had in my home state. Well, what do you guys think of my list? Obviously, I haven't said the nicest things about Kings Island in the past, but this visit really changed my whole perspective on the park. I'm really glad I got to go back, and I hope that I could return soon. Thank you guys for watching. This was Hunter from Theme Park Hunting. I'll see you guys later, and follow the thrill.